Welcome back to our channel. We're glad you're here. Today's story is a reminder that family isn't held together by perfection, but by commitment, presence, and love. As you watch, we hope it speaks to your heart and encourages you to choose unity every single day.
Lucas. Dad asked both of us to fix this before he gets back. I'm not asking you to do much. Just hold it steady so it doesn't wobble while I tighten this. Lucas. I need your help. Just for a minute. Why does everything always turn into my problem? You're already down there fixing it. Looks like you've got it handled. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I always have it handled. Every chore. Every responsibility. Every time something needs fixing, everyone just assumes Ethan will take care of it. Maybe it's because you like doing things. You're the responsible one, remember? That's your role. I didn't choose that role, Lucas. It was handed to me. And once people get used to you carrying everything, they stop offering to help. I'm not asking you to fix the chair alone. I'm asking you to act like we're brothers. Not strangers living in the same house.
Good morning. Breakfast is ready.
Thanks, Mom. It smells great.
Help yourself to some fruit.
I will.
Off the stove.
Okay, I'll get the table ready.
Perfect. Thank you. All set.
Your father didn't sleep at all last night. He just kept turning from side to side, talking about bills, repairs, things that still need fixing. Every problem feels bigger when the house is quiet. It feels like everything is piling up at once.
I know, Mom. I see it too. I'm trying to help however I can, around the house, with the repairs, anything that eases the pressure. But I can't carry this alone. I'm doing my best. And sometimes it still feels like it's never enough.
You've always been strong, Ethan. Too strong sometimes. And without realizing it. We lean on you more than we should. I don't want this house to break you while you're trying to hold it together.
I don't either, Mom. I just need to know I am not carrying it by myself. Lucas. You told me you'd follow up with a mechanic yesterday. I waited all evening for a call back, thinking you had handled it. That car isn't just metal to me, it's how I get to work, how I keep this family moving. I forgot. Things come up. Besides, Ethan can handle it. He actually likes dealing with those kinds of things, calls, repairs, all that responsibility stuff. No, son. Ethan doesn't like it. He carries it because someone has to. There's a difference between choosing responsibility and being left with no other option. When you say things like that, you make it sound like Ethan exists to absorb pressure so the rest of us can breathe easier. That's not strength, that's exhaustion wearing a brave face. I didn't mean it like that. Ethan just always steps in. He never complains. So I figured. Silence doesn't mean peace, Lucas. Sometimes it just means someone has learned that speaking won't change anything. This family belongs to all of us. Not just one person. Not the oldest. Not the strongest. Not the one who always says I'll handle it. When only one person keeps showing up, it slowly breaks them. Even if you don't see the cracks yet. I don't want to wake up one day and realize I raised one son to carry everything and another to walk past it. I need you to show up, Lucas, not because Ethan can't do it, but because he shouldn't have to do it alone. I didn't think about it like that. Then start thinking now. Because this house doesn't stand on one set of shoulders.
Your brother didn't come home for dinner again. I kept the food warm, thinking maybe he'd walk in at any moment. But the sun has already gone down,
He never does when things get serious. When conversations get heavy. When responsibility starts knocking. He always finds somewhere else to be. I don't even think he realizes how loud his absence is. Every time he's not here, the weight doesn't disappear, it just shifts onto whoever stayed behind. We keep talking to him. We remind him. We explain. We try not to shout, we try not to threaten. And still, it feels like talking to a wall. Words go out, but nothing ever comes back. I worry sometimes that in trying so hard not to lose Lucas, we've leaned too much on you. You've been here, present, reliable, and we mistook that for endless strength.
I see it now. How quiet you've become. How you do things without asking. How you carry stress like it's normal. That's not how a son should live in his own home.
I don't mind helping. I never did. What hurts is feeling like help has become my identity. Like if I stop holding everything together, the whole house might fall apart, and somehow, that would be my fault. That's not fair to you. And it's not what we want for this family. Responsibility isn't meant to be carried by one person while everyone else watches. Something has to change. Because if it doesn't, we're going to lose more than just dinners together. You've been avoiding home lately. Not just tonight, every night. You always find somewhere else to be when things start getting quiet enough for real conversations. It's not avoidance. It's self-preservation. Too much drama in that house. Every time I walk in, someone's stressed, someone's disappointed, and somehow I'm supposed to fix things I didn't even break. Or maybe it just feels that way, because people expect you to show up, not to fix everything, but to be present. Those are two very different things. That's easy for you to say. You don't live there. The moment I step inside, it's bills, repairs, responsibility. Ethan's already got it covered anyway. He always does. Why should I walk into a storm when someone else is already holding the umbrella? Because umbrellas get heavy when one person holds them through every storm. And pretending you don't see that doesn't make you free, it just makes you absent. They act like I'm failing just because I don't carry things the way Ethan does. I'm tired of being compared to him. Tired of feeling like I disappoint everyone just by being myself. Being yourself shouldn't mean disappearing when you're needed. And responsibility isn't punishment, it's proof that people believe you matter. I just don't want to feel trapped. Running doesn't make you free, Lucas. It just delays the moment you have to face what you're already part of. Do you even realize how tired Mom looks lately? Not just physically tired. I mean the kind of tired that settles into someone's eyes when they've been worrying for too long and pretending they're fine. I didn't ask her to stress herself. Everyone makes their own choices. I didn't tell her to carry the whole house on her shoulders. That's not how family works, Lucas. Family isn't about drawing lines and saying, "That's not my problem." It's about noticing when someone is breaking and stepping in before they fall apart. Mom wakes up already exhausted. She goes to bed with the same worries she started the day with. And every time you walk out or stay out late, she pretends she's not disappointed, like that disappointment won't slowly wear her down. So now everything is my fault? Her stress, Dad's bills, the house falling apart? That's a lot to put on one person. No one is asking you to carry everything. We're asking you to carry something. To show up. To stop acting like responsibility is a punishment instead of a shared weight. I'm tired too, Lucas. Tired of filling the gaps. Tired of explaining why you're not here. Tired of watching Mom smile through exhaustion because she doesn't want to fight anymore. You think I don't see it? You think it doesn't bother me? If it bothers you, then do something about it. Because caring without action still leaves everyone else carrying the cost.
I'm afraid something will break before he understands. And I don't mean something physical, because those can be repaired. I mean something deeper. Something emotional. Something between our sons, or between us as a family, that once damaged won't ever be the same again, no matter how much love we pour into it afterward. Every day I watch Ethan carry responsibilities that were never meant for one person alone, and every day I watch Lucas walk away from them like they don't belong to him. And I feel helpless, because loving one child doesn't mean protecting him from accountability, and protecting the other doesn't mean asking him to carry everything.
I pray it doesn't take loss to teach unity. I pray we don't wake up one morning wishing we had spoken louder, acted sooner, or been firmer before something precious slipped through our hands. Too often, families only come together after something has already been broken, after trust is damaged, after hearts grow distant, after regret settles in. I don't want pain to be the lesson that finally brings our sons together.
I just want them to understand that family is supposed to be a place of refuge, not pressure. A place where no one feels invisible for being responsible, and no one feels free for being absent.
All we can do now is trust God to reach Lucas in a way our words couldn't, and to give Ethan the strength not to lose himself while waiting. I pray wisdom comes before consequences, and understanding before regret. Son, you're doing too much, more than anyone ever asked of you, more than what should ever fall on one person's shoulders. I see it in the way you never pause, in the way you take responsibility before anyone even realizes there's a problem. Carrying everything has slowly become your language, and that worries me more than the broken things in this house.
I do it because if I stop, everything falls apart. I've seen what happens when things are left undone. Bills stack up, tempers rise, silence turns into resentment. If I stay moving, if I stay useful, at least the damage stays contained. It's not about wanting to be strong. It's about being afraid of what happens if I'm not. If I step back and no one steps forward, then the collapse becomes my fault for letting go.
That's a heavy fear to live with. And it hurts me to know that somewhere along the way, you learned that holding everything together was your responsibility. I never meant to raise you to believe that love is proven by exhaustion. Strength doesn't mean you never need help. And responsibility was never meant to become a prison. This family should not survive at the cost of your peace.
I don't know how to trust that things won't fall apart if I let go. I've been holding everything for so long that I don't even remember what rest feels like.
Then we learn together. I don't want you to be the foundation anymore, son. I want you to be part of the house, not the one holding it up alone. One day, you're going to wish you had listened sooner. Not just to me, not just to anyone trying to warn you, but to the quiet voice inside that keeps telling you that walking away doesn't solve anything. Because life has a way of turning lessons into consequences, and regrets don't need an invitation, they just arrive. People always say that, Daniel. You'll regret it one day. You'll wish you listened. I've heard it 1,000 times. Sounds more like a warning meant to make me feel guilty than something that actually happens. And that's exactly why it becomes so easy to ignore. You hear it so often that it feels like a saying, like a story about someone else's life. But one day, Lucas, it won't just be a saying. It will be your memory. The memory of what could have been avoided if you had chosen differently. If you had just stood where you belonged, faced what needed facing, and been present when it mattered most. It's not about making you feel guilty. It's about opening your eyes before it's too late. Before you wake up one morning and realize that the moments you skipped, the responsibilities you ignored, and the people you left behind can't be retrieved. I'm telling you now, Lucas. Don't wait for the memory to hurt. Don't wait for loss to teach what words could have taught. Listen now, while there's still time to do what's right, not what's easy.
Mom? Mom, what's wrong? Sit down. Please, just sit down for a moment. You don't have to do anything right now. Just breathe. Let me help you.
I don't know. It's like the room is spinning, and my legs aren't listening. I thought I could manage. I thought it would pass if I just kept moving.
Mom, you can't just keep pushing yourself like this. Every day, every little worry, every responsibility you carry, it's piling up. And your body, it's telling you to slow down. I can't watch you collapse from exhaustion while pretending everything's fine.
I don't want to be weak, Ethan. I don't want you or your father worrying more than you already do. But some days I feel like the weight of this house and this family is bigger than I am.
Mom, it's not weakness to feel it. It's not weakness to lean on someone who loves you. You've been carrying so much for so long, and I've seen it wearing you down, how tired you are, how quiet your strength has become. You don't have to do this alone.
I know you've been carrying more than I ever asked you to. And sometimes I worry that asking for help would make you feel weak too. But right now I realize I can't do it by myself anymore.
Then we'll do it together. Every step. Every burden. I'm here, Mom. I've always been here, and I always will be. You don't have to carry anything alone anymore.
Stress. That's what the doctor said. He spoke calmly, like it was something manageable, something ordinary. But there was nothing ordinary about the way he looked at me when he said it, like he'd seen this story too many times before. He said her body is reacting to years of pressure. Not one bad day. Not one argument. Years of carrying worry silently, years of putting everyone else first, years of telling herself she'd rest later, until later finally came and her body refused to wait any longer.
We're losing her peace. Slowly. And that's what hurts the most. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet erosion. Every small worry shaving away a little more of who she is until one day we look at her and wonder where her light went. I thought if I carried enough, she wouldn't have to. I thought if I fixed enough problems, stayed strong enough, stayed useful enough, she'd finally be able to breathe. But all I really did was help everyone pretend everything was fine.
And I let it happen. I watched her grow tired and told myself it was just life. I watched you take on more and told myself you were strong enough. Somewhere along the way, I stopped protecting the people I love and started surviving instead.
I don't blame Lucas alone. I don't even blame you. I blame the silence. The way we all avoided hard conversations because they were uncomfortable. The way we waited for things to break instead of changing while we still could.
That silence ends now. I don't want your mother recovering just to return to the same pressure. I don't want you living like the foundation of this family instead of a son. If this moment doesn't change us, then it has no meaning.
Then let this be the turning point. Not just for her, but for all of us. Because if we walk out of this hospital and go back to the same patterns, we'll only be waiting for the next collapse.
God gave us this warning before it became a tragedy. We can either listen now, or regret later. I choose to listen.
Why didn't anyone call me sooner? I keep asking myself that because if I had known earlier, if someone had just told me how bad things were getting, I would have come. I wouldn't have stayed away. I wouldn't have kept telling myself everything was fine when it clearly wasn't. Would you have come? Not just when things finally broke, but when they were quietly breaking? When Mom was waking up exhausted every day, when Dad was losing sleep, when this house felt heavier with every passing week. Would you have shown up then, when there was no emergency forcing your attention? I don't know. And that's the part that scares me the most. I want to believe I would have, but the truth is I kept choosing comfort over responsibility. I kept thinking there would always be more time, more chances, more warnings before something serious happened. That's how it always happens. No one plans to be absent when it matters. They just keep postponing presence until it's too late. And while you were waiting for the right moment, the weight was slowly crushing the people who stayed. I never wanted this. I never wanted to hurt Mom, or put you in this position, or make Dad carry so much alone. I just didn't know how to step up without feeling like I was losing myself. You don't lose yourself by showing up, Lucas. You lose yourself by running from who you're meant to be. Responsibility doesn't erase you, it shapes you. And right now, what matters isn't what you intended, but what you choose to do next. I'm here now. I don't want to be the person who only shows up when everything is falling apart. Then stay. Stay when it's boring. Stay when it's heavy. Stay when there's nothing dramatic happening. Because that's where love is proven, not in emergencies, but in consistency.
Family should never feel like a burden. And yet, I know how easily it can begin to feel that way when life becomes demanding. When expectations grow louder than affection. When love starts to feel like responsibility instead of refuge. But family was never meant to weigh you down, it was meant to be the place where you rest when the world becomes too heavy.
I told myself that staying distant was the kinder choice. I convinced myself that if I didn't come around, if I didn't get involved, then I wouldn't add to anyone's stress. But standing here now, I realized my silence didn't protect anyone. It only created more distance.
Sometimes, Lucas, we confuse peace with avoidance. We think walking away will quiet the tension, but all it does is leave unanswered questions behind. I never wanted you to feel that being present would steal something from you. Love was never meant to feel like a cage.
I was afraid. Afraid that responsibility would change me. That if I stayed, I'd lose control over my own life. I didn't understand that choosing myself at the expense of family was slowly turning me into someone I didn't recognize.
Running doesn't preserve who you are, my son. It only delays who you were meant to become. And even in your absence, my heart never stopped making room for you.
I'm sorry for the missed calls. For the excuses. For pretending everything was fine while you were quietly carrying more than you should have. I see now that love requires courage, not convenience.
Mistakes don't disqualify you from belonging. What matters is the moment you choose to turn back. To stay. To face what you once avoided.
I don't want to keep living like I can walk away whenever things get uncomfortable. I want to learn how to stay, even when it's hard, even when it costs me something.
That willingness. That humility. That's what healing looks like. Not just for this family, but for your own heart too.
I honestly didn't think it was this serious. I kept telling myself she was just tired. Just stressed like everyone else. I thought time would smooth things over the way it always does. I didn't realize that while I was waiting for things to calm down, everything was quietly falling apart. It never feels serious, until it is. That's the danger of distance, Lucas. When you're not close enough to see the cracks forming, you convince yourself they don't exist. And by the time you finally look back, the damage has already reached deeper than you imagined. I kept choosing comfort over responsibility. Every time things felt tense at home, I walked away and told myself I'd deal with it later. I didn't know later could come dressed like this. In hospital lights and unanswered questions. Avoidance always feels harmless at first. It pretends to be peace. But real peace requires presence. It requires you to stay long enough to carry some of the weight, even when it's inconvenient, even when it forces you to grow. Seeing her like that. So weak, still trying to smile for me. It felt like a mirror was being held up to everything I ignored. All the moments I wasn't there. All the chances I had to show up and didn't. Regret isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to wake you up. The question now isn't what you failed to do before. It's what you're willing to do differently from this moment on. I don't want to be the guy who only shows up when things are falling apart. I don't want my family to remember me as someone who cared too late. I want to learn how to stay. Even when staying is uncomfortable. Then let this be the moment you stop running. You can't undo yesterday, but you can choose to be present today. Sometimes showing up now is the apology that words can't carry. I thought independence meant standing alone. Now I see it also means knowing when you're needed, and answering that call without excuses. That realization. That's how change begins. Not with promises, but with consistency. With showing up again tomorrow, and the day after that. I'm done waiting for things to get worse before I take responsibility. I messed up. Didn't I? And I don't just mean one mistake or a bad decision here and there. I mean the way I kept choosing myself over this family, the way I kept telling myself that someone else would pick up the slack. Looking back now, it's painfully clear that my absence wasn't neutral, it caused real damage. We all do. Every single one of us finds ourselves at that place sooner or later, where we realize we could have done better, cared deeper, stayed longer. The real difference isn't that some people never fail. It's that some people decide to face their failures honestly instead of defending them or running from them. For a long time, I told myself that staying away was easier for everyone. I convinced myself that you had things under control, that mom and dad were strong enough, that my presence wouldn't really change anything. I didn't realize that every time I chose comfort, I was leaving more weight on your shoulders. I won't pretend it didn't hurt. There were days I felt invisible, like my effort only mattered because it was expected, not because it was appreciated. I stayed because someone had to, not because I felt strong. And over time, that kind of responsibility can harden your heart if you're not careful. Seeing mom in that hospital bed broke something open in me. It made me realize that while I was avoiding discomfort, she was carrying worry, fear, and exhaustion in silence. I don't want to be the reason someone I love feels alone ever again. Acknowledging that matters. But understanding alone won't heal what's been strained. Healing comes when words are followed by consistency, by showing up on ordinary days, not just during emergencies. I know trust won't come back overnight. I'm not asking for that. I just want the chance to prove that I'm willing to grow, to stay involved, to carry my share even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. I don't want to disappear when things get hard anymore. Growth doesn't look like perfection. It looks like effort repeated over time. If you're willing to keep choosing responsibility, even when no one praises you for it, then that's a beginning I can believe in. Then let today be that beginning. Not a grand promise, not a dramatic moment, just a decision to stay, to help, to listen, and to be present in ways I wasn't before. That's all any family can ask for. We don't move forward by pretending nothing happened. We move forward by learning from it, and choosing differently together.
Lucas. Thank you. I didn't expect this at all. You didn't have to take the initiative, but seeing you do it, it means more than you might realize. It's not just the act itself, it's the thought, the care, the fact that you're noticing the little things that make a home feel like a home.
I guess. I finally understand. All those times I stayed away, I missed moments like this. Small things, like setting a table, helping without being told, being part of the rhythm of the family. I didn't realize how much I'd been missing, or how much it matters to just show up. It's a start, Lucas. It's not about grand gestures. It's about consistency. Every small effort like this, it adds up. It tells mom and dad, and all of us, that you're choosing to be present. That you're part of this family not just in words, but in action.
Exactly. Being part of a family isn't just about being under the same roof. It's about noticing each other, helping each other, carrying each other's burdens in small ways and large. I know it's not always easy, but your willingness to step in, it's already a step toward healing what we all lost when you stayed away.
I want to keep learning. How to be present, how to help without waiting to be asked, How to notice what's needed even when no one says anything. I don't want to be the brother who only shows up when something is urgent. I want to be here, always.
That's all anyone can ask of you. Being present, choosing to act, even in the small things. That's how we rebuild trust. That's how we make a house into a home again.
Ethan, I know I've messed up a lot, and I've left things for you to carry far too long. But I want to learn. I want to understand how you fix things, not just chairs, but the way you handle responsibility. Show me how to fix that chair again. I want to do it right this time. I thought you'd never ask. Honestly, I wasn't sure you ever would. Not just about the chair, Lucas, but about stepping in, about taking part in the work we've been carrying together for so long. I want to do it together this time. I don't want to just watch you pretend I care. I want to understand every step, the patience it takes, the mistakes you make, how you fix them, and how you keep going. I want to be part of that, not just in this moment, but in everything that comes after. Alright. First, we check every joint. Every crack, every loose screw. It's like life sometimes. If you ignore the small breaks, they get worse. And fixing it takes patience, attention, and the willingness to redo things until they hold strong. I see that now. In the chair, in Mom, in the family. You've been fixing things, keeping everything together, while I was distracted or absent. I don't want to just stand by anymore. I want to learn from you, step in, and actually help. Then take this. Start here. And don't worry if it's slow or awkward. That's part of learning. It's not about being perfect the first time, it's about being willing to try, to pay attention, and to stick with it until it's done right. I'll do my best. I don't want to let any of this, fall apart while I stand on the sidelines. I want to be someone who carries the weight, not avoids it. And that's all anyone can ask of you. One careful step at a time. Let's fix this chair together. And then maybe, bit by bit, we can fix all the things we let get loose along the way. Mom, you should rest. I'll handle dinner tonight. I know you've been carrying so much already, making sure everything runs smoothly, making sure we all have what we need, even when you're exhausted. Let me do this for you. I want you to sit down, take a break, and let someone else worry about the little things for once.
Lucas. You don't know how much it means to hear you say that. For so long, I felt like I had to keep going, keep everyone else afloat, and pretend that I wasn't tired, pretend that it didn't weigh on me. And now, seeing you step in, offering to carry even a fraction of that burden. It's more than I could have hoped for.
I should have done this a long time ago. I kept thinking I was protecting myself by staying out of it, by not stepping into responsibility. But I see now that real protection comes from being present, from helping carry the load, from showing up when it matters, even in small ways, like dinner. I don't want you to feel like you're doing this alone ever again.
You've grown so much, Lucas. Not just in what you do, but in who you've become. I can see it, in the way you think, in the way you take responsibility, in the way you care without being asked. My heart is full seeing you step into that role. Not because you have to, but because you choose to.
I choose to, Mom. I choose to be someone who notices, someone who helps, someone who doesn't wait for things to get worse before acting. And tonight, that means dinner. Let me take this from here, so you can rest, so you can just be Mom for a little while without worrying about everything else.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you for finally seeing, for finally stepping in, for finally understanding. My heart. It feels lighter just knowing you're here. Just knowing you care enough to act.
Lucas, I'm proud of you. Not because you've done everything perfectly, not because you never made mistakes, not because you've suddenly figured out life. I'm proud because you're here. You've chosen to be present, to stand in the moments that matter, to carry weight that once seemed too heavy for you. And you've done it without needing applause or recognition.
I used to think showing up was easy. I used to think responsibility was a burden I could escape. But now, I see it's not about perfection. It's about choosing to face things, even when they're uncomfortable, even when you're afraid of failing. Being present, that's where growth, love, and trust really happen.
Exactly. Life will always throw challenges at you, some big, some small. You can't control everything, and you'll never do everything right. But you can choose to be there. You can choose to notice, to care, to act, to fix what's broken in ways that matter. That's what makes a man. That's what makes a family. That's what makes a home.
I understand, Dad. I see now that running only makes the wait worse for everyone else. Being here, truly being here, that's how I can make a difference, not just for you and Mom, but for Ethan too. For all of us.
And that's all any of us can ever ask for. Not perfection. Not grand gestures. Just presence. Just willingness. Just a heart that refuses to walk away when it matters most.
I promise I won't walk away again. I'll be here, for the small things and the big things alike. I'll be present. The way a family needs me to be.
I have to say, it feels strange to hear laughter here again. I almost forgot what it sounded like with all the worry and stress that's been hanging over this house. It's like the walls themselves are breathing easier.
It's about time. For months, it felt like we were just surviving instead of living. And now, seeing all of you together, joking, helping, being present. It reminds me what family really is. Not perfection. Not silence. Not avoiding responsibility. But connection. Shared moments. Even little things. Like this.
And maybe some of that has to do with someone finally learning how to pick up a screwdriver without making a bigger mess. Alright. I admit it. I've been learning. Slowly. But the point is, I'm here. I'm actually helping, I'm present, and I'm not running away this time. And honestly, it feels good. Being part of this again. Really part of it, not just a guest.
Lucas, it means more than you know. Every time you step in, every small effort, every time you choose to be present, it's like a balm on all the times that were hard, all the times we worried, all the moments we felt alone. That's what family is. Being there for each other, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable.
Exactly. And laughter isn't just noise. It's the sign that hearts are lighter, that burdens are shared, that presence matters more than perfection. I can see it now in all of you. And it gives me hope. Not just for this family, but for the people we choose to be, the responsibility we embrace, and the love we share.
I'll admit it, little brother. It's good to have you around again. Not just for help with chores or fixing chairs, but for this. For family. For moments like this. I didn't realize how much I was missing. All the laughter, all the little moments, all the times I could have helped. I don't want to miss that anymore. I want to be part of this life, this home, this family. Fully. You know, I didn't realize that unity wasn't just something that happens naturally. I thought families just stayed together because they were supposed to. But now I see it's something you choose every single day. Choosing to show up. Choosing to care. Choosing to carry the weight when it's hard, even when no one is watching. Choosing to forgive when anger or frustration rises. And it's exhausting, but worth it. I get that now. It is. Every single day. Unity isn't a one-time decision, or a feeling that magically appears. It's a choice you make over and over again. It's choosing patience instead of irritation. Choosing love instead of selfishness. Choosing presence instead of absence. And yes, sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's hard, and sometimes it feels like no one notices. But those moments of effort, the small, consistent acts, build the kind of family that lasts. I see that now. And I want to be someone who chooses it, not just for the big moments, but for the ordinary ones too. I don't want to wait until something breaks to realize what matters. I want to be part of the strength, part of the care, part of the unity that keeps us whole every single day. And that's exactly why it's worth it. Because unity, real unity, changes everything. It gives people the courage to trust, the patience to forgive, and the love to carry each other through life's storms. Choosing it daily may not be glamorous, and it may not always feel rewarding in the moment, but over time, it builds a home, a family, and a bond nothing can break. Then that's the life I want to live. Choosing unity, choosing presence, choosing to care. Every day. Even when it's uncomfortable. Even when it's inconvenient. Even when it's hard. That's all anyone can ask for. And if we keep choosing it, day after day, then no challenge, no frustration, no mistake will ever be bigger than the love and unity we share as a family.
You know, it's strange, but the house feels lighter this morning. Not just in the way the rooms feel, there is sunlight everywhere, but in the way everything feels connected. The energy, the presence, the laughter from yesterday. It's like the walls themselves are relieved. For so long, it felt heavy, weighted down by worry, tension, and unspoken frustrations. And now, it feels different. Warm. Alive. Whole.
That's what unity does. It doesn't just change the people in the house, it changes the house itself. When hearts are aligned, when effort is shared, when presence is real. Even the rooms, the spaces we occupy, begin to breathe easier. The weight of resentment, absence, and misunderstandings lifts. And suddenly, ordinary mornings feel extraordinary.
I can feel it. Every little act, the way Lucas stepped in without being asked, the way Ethan carried so much without complaining, the way we all learned to speak, to forgive, to show up. It has shifted everything. The tension, the worry, the fear. It's still there, in small ways, but it doesn't control the house anymore. The lightness. It's hope. And it's real.
Exactly. Unity isn't something that happens once. It's a choice we make every day, in how we speak, how we act, how we care for each other. And when we commit to it, even in the smallest ways, it transforms lives. Not just ours, but everyone who walks through this house. It's quiet, gradual, but powerful. It reminds us that family isn't defined by perfection, but by willingness. Willingness to stay, to forgive, to love, and to carry each other.
I never want to take this for granted. I want us to remember, no matter what storms come, or how heavy things feel, that the choice to be together, to stay, to support, is what truly keeps a family alive. And right now, I feel that alive, stronger than ever.
And we will. Because we've seen it work, we've felt it in our hearts, and we've lived it. Unity. It changes everything. And when we choose it, every morning, every day, the house, our hearts, and our family, all of it feels lighter, brighter, and ready for whatever comes next.
You were right. About everything. About how I was avoiding responsibility, about how I thought stepping back meant protecting myself, about how I thought I could ignore the weight of the family and it wouldn't affect anyone else. I didn't realize how much my absence was felt, how much my choices, or lack of choices, shaped the stress, the worry, the fear, and even the silence at home. I know. And I'm glad you see it now. Sometimes the lessons we resist are the ones we need most.
Life doesn't always hand them gently. It waits until the moment we can't ignore them anymore. But the important thing isn't that you stumbled. It's that you realized in time. You realized before it became permanent, before it broke relationships beyond repair. That's what matters. I can see it now. Avoidance doesn't protect anyone. It only delays the pain, multiplies the burden, and leaves the ones who care to pick up the slack exhausted. I was selfish, and I didn't even know it at the time. But I want to do better. Not just because I have to, but because I want to. Because I have seen what showing up, being present, and choosing responsibility can do for the people you love. That's exactly it, Lucas. Real growth isn't about never making mistakes. It's about learning from them, facing them, and choosing differently. Choosing presence over avoidance. Choosing care over indifference. Choosing unity over selfishness. The fact that you see it now, and want to act on it. That's the difference between repeating the past and building a better future. I'm going to take that lesson seriously. Not just for Mom and Dad, not just for Ethan, but for myself too. I want to be someone who doesn't run, who doesn't wait for a crisis to act, who doesn't take love and presence for granted. I want to live differently. Starting today. And that's exactly why I'm glad you found out in time. Life is too short to learn lessons too late. The fact that you've recognized it, the fact that you're ready to act. That changes everything. Your family, your future, even yourself. You've taken the first step toward being the man you were always capable of becoming. I won't take this second chance for granted. I'll make it count. You know, it's funny. I always thought fixing things, chairs, arguments, problems, was about skill, about knowing exactly what to do. But I'm starting to realize it starts with something much simpler. It starts with showing up. Showing up even when it's inconvenient. Showing up even when you're tired, frustrated, or unsure. Just being present is the first step toward actually making a difference. Exactly. You can have all the tools, all the plans, all the ideas in the world, but if you don't show up, none of it matters. Showing up isn't just about being physically there. It's about putting your heart into it, being willing to face the mess, the frustration, the mistakes, and still keep going. That's what turns broken things, chairs, families, relationships, into something whole again. I see that now. I was so focused on avoiding responsibility, avoiding discomfort, thinking it was easier to step back. But all I was doing was leaving the weight for someone else. Leaving the problems, leaving the stress, leaving the worry. And you carried all of that without complaint. Watching you, I finally get it. Showing up matters more than anything else. Skill, perfection, or knowing it all. Those come later. And that's what I want you to remember. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes along the way. What matters is that you're present, that you try, that you care enough to put yourself into the work, even when it's hard or uncomfortable. That's how trust is built. That's how relationships are repaired. That's how families, like ours, stay together and grow stronger. I'll remember. I'll show up, not just for chairs, not just for chores, but for Mom, Dad, Ethan. For this family. For the small things and the big things alike. I won't wait for a crisis to remind me of what matters. I'll be here. Fully. That's all anyone can ask. Showing up is the start of everything. It's the difference between a house and a home, between brokenness and repair, between absence and love. And now, you've taken that first step. The rest will follow. Funny. How fixing things really does start with showing up.
It's remarkable, isn't it? How something as simple as holding hands can carry so much meaning. For so long, it felt like we were disconnected, each of us carrying our own burdens, afraid to reach across the gap, afraid to hurt or be hurt. But now, this moment feels like a promise. A promise that we're here for each other. Always.
Yes. Unity doesn't always show itself in grand gestures or words. Sometimes, it's quiet. Sometimes, it's a shared breath, a hand held, a presence that says, I see you. I'm here. You are not alone. And in that simple act, all the past struggles, the missteps, the misunderstandings, they start to lose their weight. What remains is love, patience, and the willingness to grow together.
I've learned that family isn't just about living under the same roof or sharing meals. It's about showing up. It's about choosing to be part of someone else's life, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable. And holding hands like this, it's a reminder that presence matters more than perfection. It's the first step toward healing, forgiveness, and connection. I see that now. I've spent too long thinking I could avoid responsibility, thinking I could step back and let someone else handle the weight. But the truth is, being present, even in the small ways, is what actually carries a family through. Holding your hands right now. It's not just a gesture. It's a commitment. A reminder that I won't run, I won't hide, I'll be here, in the messy, hard, ordinary parts of life too.
This is what we've been missing. The connection, the care, the choice to be here fully. I want us to remember this feeling, to carry it into every day, the laughter, the patience, the forgiveness, the presence. This is the foundation of our home.
And as long as we keep choosing it, daily, in every word, every action, every moment, the house will stay warm, the hearts will stay full, and nothing. No challenge, no burden, no past mistake will ever be stronger than the love and unity we share.
Sometimes the smallest acts, the hand held, the presence given, the willingness to care, they make the biggest difference. And right now, sitting here with all of you, I finally understand what that means. Then let this be the start of something lasting. Not just a moment of unity, but a commitment to keep showing up, to keep caring, to keep loving, every day.
Lucas. I want you to know something I never said out loud enough. Through every mistake, every time you pulled away, every time I worried about whether you'd step up or run, I never stopped believing in you. Not for a second. Even when it seemed like you didn't care, even when it felt like the walls between us were growing taller, my heart never stopped believing that you could find your way, that you could grow, that you could choose to be present, to care, to love.
Mom. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it took so much pain for me to see what was right in front of me the whole time. I spent so long thinking that I was avoiding responsibility, that I was protecting myself, when all I was doing was hurting the people who mattered most. And hurting myself in the process. I didn't realize that belief, that love, it never left me, even when I thought it had. And now I see it. I finally see it.
Lucas. The pain doesn't undo you. It doesn't define you. It's part of the journey, the part that teaches you how to grow, how to forgive, how to choose differently next time. The fact that you see it now. The fact that you were willing to step in, to care, to be present. That is what matters. You've learned the lesson, and that's all a mother could ever hope for.
I won't take your belief for granted anymore. I won't wait for crisis, for pain, for mistakes to remind me what matters. I will choose to show up, to care, to love. Every day. I want to live in a way that honors the faith you never stopped having in me.
And that's all I've ever wanted, Lucas. Not perfection. Not endless praise. Just your heart, your willingness to grow, your choice to be part of this family in a real way. You've taken the first step, and I can see that you'll keep choosing the right path. That's what makes a family strong. That's what makes you the son I've always believed in.
Thank you, Mom, for never giving up on me, even when I gave up on myself. I won't forget this. Ever.
Ethan, I want you to remember something important. Families don't need perfection. They never have. What they need, what really matters, is commitment. Commitment to show up, even when it's hard. Commitment to care, even when it's inconvenient. Commitment to stay, even when mistakes are made and tempers flare. That's the foundation of a home, the glue that holds hearts together, the quiet strength that keeps love alive when life gets messy.
I see that now, Dad. I spent so much time worrying about doing everything right, about not failing anyone, about keeping everything under control. But I realize, it's not about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about showing up for my family, not just in the easy moments, but in the hard ones too. The moments that test patience, kindness, and love. That's where commitment really matters.
Exactly. You see, life will always be messy. People will disappoint. Situations will challenge you. And you will make mistakes, just like all of us. But perfection isn't the goal. Presence is. Effort is. Care is. The decision to stay, to give your best even when it isn't enough, to love even when it's complicated. That's what builds families, son. That's what builds trust, unity, and lasting bonds.
I get it now. Commitment isn't always easy. It's not always glamorous. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, tiring, even frustrating. But it's worth it. Every single day. Because being committed to family, that's what creates a home, not just walls and furniture, but hearts that feel safe, loved, and understood.
And that's why I'm proud of you, Ethan. Not because you've done everything flawlessly, but because you've chosen to stay, to care, and to show up when it matters most. That choice, over and over again, is stronger than perfection. It's what shapes men, shapes families, and shapes lives.
I'll remember this. Commitment first, perfection never. That's how we hold each other together. That's how we stay a family.
It's amazing how something as simple as a chair being fixed can feel like more than just a repaired piece of furniture. It feels symbolic, doesn't it? Like we've repaired more than just wood and screws, we've repaired trust, care, and presence.
Exactly. That chair. It's more than an object. It's a reminder that when we commit to showing up, to caring, to taking responsibility, we can mend what seemed broken. Not perfectly, but enough to hold together, enough to support, enough to last. And that's what family does. Even when it's messy, even when we stumble, even when we feel like we're failing, we keep showing up. That's how bonds are strengthened.
I used to think fixing things, chairs, problems, misunderstandings, was all about doing it myself, carrying the weight alone. But now I see. The real repair comes when everyone contributes, when everyone chooses to be present, when we all show up, even in small ways. That's what truly fixes what's broken. I understand that now. I spent too long avoiding responsibility, thinking stepping back was safer. But the truth is, avoiding only left the weight for someone else and made the whole house feel heavier. Being here, helping, even in little ways, it changes everything. It makes the burden lighter, the home warmer, and the people around me feel loved. I see it now, and I don't want to go back.
Lucas, I've always believed in you. Even when you didn't believe in yourself, even when it seemed like the moments of absence were louder than your presence. I never doubted that you had the heart to learn, to care, and to grow. And now, I see it in you. I feel it.
I'm sorry it took so much pain and fear for me to realize it. But I won't take this chance for granted anymore. I'll choose to be here, to help, to care, to show up. Every day. Not just for the chair, but for all of us. For our family. That's what it's about, choosing to show up every single day. It's not always glamorous, it's not always easy, but it's worth it. The little acts, the daily presence. That's what keeps a family strong. That's what repairs what's broken, both in furniture and in hearts.
And as long as we remember that, the house, our home, will always be filled with love, presence, and unity. Not perfect, but whole. Not flawless, but committed. That's what truly matters.
This is home. The kind that lasts.
And it's ours, because we chose it. I almost lost it. Everything that really mattered. I was so focused on avoiding discomfort, avoiding responsibility, avoiding confrontation, that I didn't realize what I was risking. I didn't realize that every choice to step back, every decision to ignore, every moment I thought I could escape. It wasn't just me I was letting down. It was Mom, Dad, Ethan. The family that has been carrying me through life, supporting me even when I didn't notice. I was blind to the fact that love, care, and unity don't happen automatically. They require presence, effort, and commitment. They require showing up, even when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or exhausting. I thought I could take the easy route, that things would just work out. But life has a way of teaching you lessons you can't ignore. I almost learned mine the hard way. But I didn't lose it. Not completely. I had people who never gave up on me, who believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. I had choices to make, and I chose differently this time. I showed up. I cared. I apologized. I fixed what I could, and I learned from what I couldn't fix immediately. I won't forget this lesson. I won't forget the weight of absence, the emptiness that comes from not being present, and the peace that comes from choosing to be here, to care, and to love. Every day. I'll remember that showing up isn't just about actions, it's about heart, attention, patience, and persistence. It's about choosing my family, even when it's hard. Choosing unity, even when it's inconvenient. Choosing love, even when I feel weak. I almost lost what mattered most. But not anymore. I'll keep choosing it. I'll keep showing up. I'll keep loving. And I won't wait for pain to remind me again.
It's been such a journey. Seeing everyone step up, learning to care, learning to forgive. I can feel it in the air tonight, this sense of peace, of presence, of real connection. It's more than just sharing a meal. It's sharing our hearts, our efforts, and our willingness to stay.
Exactly. Unity doesn't just happen because we live under the same roof. It happens because we choose it every day, through words, through patience, through showing up, even when it's hard or uncomfortable. Each of us has a role, a responsibility to care, to support, and to love. And that choice, that commitment, it transforms not just our home, but our hearts.
I used to think responsibility was a burden, that stepping in was optional. But now I see that it's actually a privilege. Being present, showing up for the people you love, taking part in their lives. That's what makes a house a home. That's what repairs broken bonds, strengthens trust, and builds lasting unity. I almost lost that. I almost thought I could step away, thinking my absence didn't matter. But now I know. Every choice to avoid, every moment of indifference, carries weight. And every choice to be present, to care, to love, carries even more. This family, this home. It thrives on commitment, not perfection. On showing up, not withdrawing. On love, even when it's messy.
And that is what makes us whole. Not the absence of problems, not the absence of mistakes, but the presence of hearts willing to stay, willing to forgive, willing to care. That is the foundation of our family. That is the beauty of unity.
And as we share this meal tonight, I hope we remember that family unity isn't automatic. It's a choice. Every word, every action, every effort we make, it either strengthens us or leaves us drifting. But when we choose to be present, to care, to love, nothing can break what God has blessed.
It's amazing. The smallest acts, the daily presence, the willingness to step in and stay. That's what truly makes a difference. That's how we build trust, love, and a home that feels safe, full, and alive. I won't take it for granted again. I'll choose to show up, to care, to love. Every single day. For this family. For this home. For us.
Family unity isn't automatic. It's a choice. Psalm 133 verse 1 - How good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. Thank you for watching and taking this journey with us. Family, love, and unity are choices we make every single day. May this story inspire you to show up, to care, and to love the people who matter most in your life. Remember, it's never too late to mend what's broken, to forgive, and to be present. God bless you and your family.